I'm going to tell a story about a trip I went on by bicycle last summer. I volunteer at an organization in town that helps young kids learn how to work on their bikes and, in general, how to be good citizens and good neighbors. And we had planned this trip to Ohio, and we were going to bike from the Ohio River up north and across US 40 back to Indianapolis. It was going to take about a week. So we drove the kids out to this random campsite and dropped them off, and we were going to bike back with them. And we had gotten all this food and all these things together and fixed all their bikes, so we thought. And we're camping out, and the first night is always the best night because everyone's excited to be away from home. They don't miss their parents yet. And we had a great time. I could only stay for a couple days. I had some other responsibilities to do. So I wanted to bike as much as I could in the first couple days. And the kids had visited this this museum on the history of slavery, and then they were going to go to a couple other houses in the Ohio River area where slaves had crossed from Kentucky to Ohio and then had gone up to these Rankin House or something like that. They were going to climb the stairs to see these houses. So another supervisor and I were going to ride from that first night from that campsite about 25, maybe 30 miles to the Rankin House and meet the kids there for the first ride that they were going to do. After they had gone to see this house, they were going to ride to the next campsite. So basically we were going from campsite to campsite, biking along a trail all the way back to Indianapolis. So I don't know if you guys know that IndyCog also makes bike buckets. We have these kitty litter buckets that are bright yellow, and we put stickers on them. You might think they're ugly, but they're super useful. And I did my first load of laundry in my bike bucket and had hung it up to dry the night before. But the next morning, none of my clothes had dried, and it was really muggy. It was really muggy and hot. That's why they hadn't dried. So I'm sleeping in my underwear with a tent full of teenagers, and I wake up to put my clothes on, and they're all wet. So I was really excited for my first day of riding in wet clothes, but I knew I had to do it because I didn't have very much time to ride. So the other supervisor and I left, and we had some amazing hills. I don't know if you guys ride bikes, but I really enjoy riding up and down hills. As crazy as that might sound, it's really hard and it hurts your legs, but then you get to fly down, and I've gone upwards of 45 miles an hour down a hill before, and it's a super rush. So I was killing these hills, going up and down, and my partner was just slowly and slowly lagging further and further behind. I had to stop a few times and wait for him, and eventually, you know, he was like, okay, I need a real break, so we stopped and we got more water, ate a granola bar or whatever, and then we had a huge hill, and I rocked it, and then he took 20 minutes to come up the hill, so I was like, well, we better take another break. So 3 miles down the road, we stopped at a tiny dive bar, and we were looking for something to drink, and you can imagine in the middle of Ohio what kind of dive bars we found. It was I think it was a motorcycle bar, but there were like jars of pickles on the wall, as well as like the old rock and roll posters, as well as the guys in the leather vests with like handlebar mustaches and everything, looking at us in our spandex and wet clothes. As my friend begins panting and sweating and dripping everywhere, we decided to move on from this bar because he's starting to get hungry. So I didn't know this, but he's starting to get heat exhaustion, and he's having all these symptoms. And so we go down the road to this, all I can say is delightfully tacky establishment. It's not Hooters, but imagine all the little kitschy things that you see in a country store. the little signs that say like love lives here and live, love, laugh, whatever, that kind of stuff. They're everywhere, all over this restaurant. And I'm a vegetarian, so I was hungry by that point. I'm looking at the menu, there's nothing to eat except macaroni and cheese for me, so I'm like enjoying my mac and cheese. And this guy, my partner, is sitting at the table just like this. He's got his elbows out, like, and there's a puddle of sweat on the table, and it's just growing. He's like panting and panting and panting, and he tries to drink orange juice and just can't get it down, starts spitting up everywhere, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a nurse, I'm just having heat exhaustion, I'm gonna lay down on the floor now and you're gonna call the ambulance. And so I was like, okay, no more lunch. So so the kids are all up at the Rankin House enjoying their time, and I am in this hole-in-the-wall restaurant with the guy on the floor asking me to massage his armpits and his knees because they're cramping up, while I'm trying to put ice behind his neck and call an ambulance and explain to them what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. So that lasted for another hour. The medics came, and then I was stuck in the restaurant because I had biked there. They took him away, and I ended up waiting in the restaurant another 3 hours before the kids and the supervisors came and picked me up. And I found out then that another one of the kids had ran all the way to the top of the stairs, which I don't know how many flights of stairs there were, but imagine the side of a hill just and stairs. He had ran to the top and then immediately thrown up everywhere. So we decided that it was time to go home and we weren't going to finish the trip. So we had another night of camping, which was really horrible because all the kids were mad that they had to go home and couldn't finish the trip. But this year we're planning another trip, and we're hoping it won't be as hot so no one else passes out or has to go to the emergency room. We don't want to hit that benchmark again, but if you're interested, you should join us. It might be an adventure. If you like going up and down hills, you should come with me, and I might give you heat exhaustion.